morning, I asked the audience a question. The question was, what is love? After gathering and reading all your responses, I noted that I got as many different answers as there are many people in the crowd here today. Some of the answers I got were, for example, loving your spouse, your children, or even your pet, while others wrote pain, hurt, or such things of broken hearts. The fact is that love is interwoven into all aspects of our lives. But what is love? Let me tell you the story of how I stepped into the full power of love. Imagine this: a badass banker wearing a black parachute with the main agenda to make more money. Well, that badass banker was me. And this is the story of how I transformed from being that sad-ass banker into a love warrior. The journey started off with a visit to my grandparents in the Icelandic countryside, where you can just smell the green grass in the air, endless breadth of nature, and you can feel the magic of the mountains. My grandfather, close to 100 years old, almost blind, but he smiles with his eyes. He is tall, has white glowing hair, and when he walks, he moves slowly, always with a straight back. So graceful. And my grandmother, she could be the poster woman for the concept of the warm mother. When she hugs you, you just sink into a soft body and big boobs, and you feel safe and at home. Well, I, the moneymaker, I was there in their house, in their kitchen, where they gave birth to and brought up 10 children. At that point in my life, I was at the end of my pregnancy with my youngest. I had one infant in my arms and one toddler running around my legs. And my grandmother, she looks me in the eyes and she says, "So you are becoming just like me when I was your age." And I remember thinking, oh my God, she's gone crazy now. How can you say that? You had 10 babies in 14 years, and this is only my third one. And my last one, but I kept that thought to myself. She replied, well, women of your time are all superhumans. You have countless roles in life that I did not have. And yes, that was my plan. I wanted it all, aiming for world domination. My grandmother looked at my grandfather with love in her eyes. They giggled, happy, almost 10 decades old, still in love. And I was immersed in their love. And there it happened like an out-of-body experience. I could feel this amazing feeling like electric fire going through my entire body from top down. And time stood still as I watched them. And I saw that the alternative to everything is love. And I dearly wanted the same. I wanted to be, at their age, at that stage in life, to be able to look back on my own legacy and be really proud. Instead, I knew that if I would continue my lifestyle, putting out fires everywhere, I would be facing a burnout, a mental injury, or a complete loss of health. Right there, in this moment, I had this true moment of clarity, which I knew I had to follow with action, both for me and specifically for my children. The day after the journey to my homestead, I quit my job, and I started to rethink my whole existence. By 2030, the World Health Organization is expecting 80% of all illnesses to be related to stress and anxiety, resulting in depression. This is a tremendous threat that we can change. But how? We have to take responsibility for future generations. If we don't want a world where these diseases and addictions are the main agenda, we have to take responsibility. We have to start somewhere. And where do we start? We start with the children. We don't need no education. So we all come pure into this world, born whole and content, but we're all born different. Once that being, that beautiful child, arrives into the world, their bodies, their cells, their DNA will respond to the environment that we give them. Unfortunately, they start to meet society's needs, from family, friends, school teachers, or even sport coaches, all society. And their response to these molding factors is manifesting their ideas about life and love as we were taught. Child's mind is a fragile mind. Their emotions touch their future. Therefore, the feeling is the imprint. So many years of education, yet so few of us were really taught how to truly love ourselves. So on that note, it is vitally important that pain travels through family lines until someone is ready to heal it in themselves. By going through the agony of healing, we no longer pass the poison chalice on to the next generation that follows. We can end that.
Wanting, needing.
The time we hit puberty is crucial as we are being molded from so many various factors nowadays. Add social media on top of that experience. I, for one, feel so lucky that social media didn't exist when I was at the most vulnerable state in my life. Our primal instincts are kicking in as we start to seek and try different things, exploring our sexuality, try to fit in our perception of the world. A preconceived idea of life and love can be such a limiting factor in our upbringing, especially while being domesticated. And how does sex fit into that? Sex is a part of love, and don't get me wrong, I really love sex, as probably all of us. But what worries me is the misconception of love and how we often define love through sex. And we all have these feelings inside, the need and the urge to express ourselves, to explore sex with different partners, with opposite or even same gender. And what does society say about that? This is yet another molding factor that can lead to blocking the real authentic self, leading to pressed emotion of shame, guilt, or self-loathing. And this can take our entire adulthood to unwind. So if we have an open heart and trust that love is the essence, why does love hurt so much? How do we feel when our expectations are not met? I am sure that most of us in here share a mutual experience of a heartbreak. For me, it came early, when I was a teen. I remember spending days in my bed crying when my boyfriend broke up with me, or we were on a break. I had this absolute certainty that I would never recover. So my mother, she sat on my bed, stroked my hair, and she told me, if you really love him, you will have to let him go. And if this is really meant to be, you will be reunited. Right there, I had this first lesson of how unconditional love can never be possessive. Now, luckily for me, that boyfriend has been my partner and husband now for the last 25 years. As said before, we are being domesticated in our upbringing, which leads to the fact that we have certain expectations about love. And when those expectations are not met, we go into disappointment. Add guilt, the feeling of doing something wrong, and shame, the feeling of being something wrong. We start to feel rejected, unfulfilled, sad, anger, which all sums up to fear. And what do we do when the fear of the unknown gets under our skin? When we move into the darkness of fear, realizing that that fixed box doesn't fit us. We have to come to terms with that fear is only absence of love. And fear is only false emotions appearing real. When love hurts, we shut down. We start to develop blockages, which leads to disconnection. To deal with the disconnection, we adopt coping mechanisms, which we divert in several different ways. We might overeat, overtrain, overwork, leading to burnout, or even abuse drugs. Constantly seeking approval from others. Now, so the core of all human drama is conditional love. I love you if you do this, if you do that. The problem is that we love with a lot of conditions attached. We need to find the way to unconditional love. We must unlearn the belief system which is keeping us stuck and suffering. When we feel the need to fix someone else or to be fixed by someone else, we are only diverting our own focus and our own pain and suffering onto another person, and often with little results. And first of all, we cannot fix others. We can only be there for others. So put the focus on yourself. It is not selfish to make your own happiness a priority. Knowing, though, that some people might find it hard when you're going through a transformation or you're changing. They still might want to have you in that fixed box. But allowing yourself to be fully present, honest and sincere in every single moment will allow you to get out of your own way. Allow the lights to guide you home, your inner light.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
So instead of searching for someone to love or to be loved by, we have to start with ourselves. As Rumi says, our task is not to seek for love, but merely the barriers that we build against it within ourselves. And what I've come to realize is that if we want to see a change in the world, we have to start with the reflection in the mirror with ourselves. The better self-knowledge we have, the better equipped we are to heal our emotions and our inner experience that allows us to love at the deepest degree in the outer world. And true love is about sharing, about going into the deepest core of another human being without possession, without making the other come small, without becoming addicted to the other. And how do we tune up the love? How do we tune up the love? First, we must fall in love with ourselves. I must be the love of my life. And this may sound cheesy, but it's the truth. To increase love, we have to put in the work. We humans are like a garden. To stay healthy and to live in the highest dimensions of our possibilities, we have to cultivate the body, the mind, and the spirit. And to emphasize the importance of this, my dear friend Bruce Cryer and the HeartMath Institute in California has demonstrated that every single minute spent in the state of love will have impact and measurable impact on the clarity of the mind, the health of the heart, and our overall emotional well-being. So it is scientifically proven that love is food for mind, body, and soul. There's so much to gain. A creature in the right soil will blossom. Everyone can reconnect with their heart and intuition. It is accessible to all. When we have an open heart and start giving, everything will come to us that is meant to come. Love is where it starts. Love is to live in unity. Living in unity means living life without fear. Love is the power that unifies us, the power that says, let's work together, resolve our conflicts, and respect each other. And you know what? Love is what we're born with. It's our birthright. Fear is only what we've learned here. The journey is the unlearning of the fear and to accept the love back into our hearts. If I had only 18 seconds with you here on this honorable day today instead of 18 minutes, that would sum up the talk. Unconditional love is the most powerful source for growth in life, for everyone. So this can be manifested. Say it like it's already done. Do not spend time thinking of anything opposite. See it, smell it, feel it. If it's really in your brain, it will be real in the physical. When we reconnect with our hearts, our soul finds peace, we stop struggling, and we start to serve life. And after all the best things in life are free. Smiles, you can see them. Hugs, kisses, laughter, and love. So by loving yourself, you glow from the inside. You start to attract people who love, respect, and appreciate your energy. So be magnetic. Make love your goal, and the universe will reveal its secrets to those of you who dare to follow their hearts. As I close, this leads back to my grandparents' story back in Iceland. Although it may sound exceptional, the lesson is clear. By never raising their voice to any of the children, and everything they did, said, and taught came from pure love. Having 10 children and over 80 descendants since then, there has never been a conflict in that big of a family. So what I learned from them is when your acts come from pure, unconditional love, with emphasis on unconditional love, we will suffer less and we will fight less. My own experience from parenting, teaching, writing books, working in the business community is that these conflicts come from discontentment, being ill at ease in your own skin, leading to all these frustration, even eruptions, and worst case scenario, war. If I may quote our beloved Martin Luther King Jr., darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So you are whole, you are not a fraction, you are a complete masterpiece all by yourself, and you do not need anyone else to validate your existence. So stay kind, commit to love, and you will experience abundance and bliss. You want love? Be love. And don't have hope, have faith, remembering that the day you plant the seed is not the day that you eat the fruit. So you have to be patient towards others and foremost ourselves. Bottom line, the world does not need more successful people seeking power. What the planet desperately needs is more peacemakers, storytellers, healers, restorers, and love warriors of all kind. Are you a love warrior? Yes. Our tribe is growing rapidly every day all over the world, and we invite you all to join us. Become a love warrior. Thank you.